Most people have like Crocs or whatever to slip into. You go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, put your foot in, it's just a warm, gooey shit in your hiking boot. Like, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? I didn't bring a second pair of hiking boots. Now I got to deal with there being a mushy trail hike shit in my hiking boot. That's the true horrors.
You just slowly accept it and just keep going.
Oh, I couldn't. There's no way. There's no way. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal comedy podcast where we talk about all things spooky. I'm Taylor.
I'm Nick.
And in the effort of getting rid of this winter weather, we're going to talk about something that we both enjoy doing when it's nice enough out to, which is spending a little bit of time out on the Appalachian Trail.
Doing drugs. Oh, no, just on the trail.
I mean...
But I mean, if you have the opportunity to ride,
find some mushrooms along the side of the trail.
Would I try some? Probably.
Just find some weed growing out there.
Yeah,
some reefers.
Some reefers.
Find a couple of H needles. No, don't do that.
Do some lines out there. It is what it is. We're adventurous.
And lines, you mean like looking at the lines on a leaf,
or using the lines on a leaf to measure out the lines you're about to snort.
Using a leaf as a straw, as the roller.
Yeah. See, it's
nature.
Innovative. It's nature. You're using nature. It's full circle. Full circle.
Yeah. Anyways, we both live relatively close to the AT.
Yeah.
As we will refer to it more often than not, probably on this episode of the podcast, Appalachian Trail, AT.
Good old-fashioned Appalachian Trail.
Runs from Georgia to Maine, or Maine to Georgia, whichever way you prefer.
I guess depending on, the direction.
Go southbound, you're going to Georgia. Going northbound, you're going to Maine.
Yeah.
It's 2,190
miles.
We're going to have to fact check that.
Maybe.
It's a long-ass trail.
Big-ass trail.
But it's a... What's the word, Nick? What am I looking for? It's like a mecca? Not a mecca, because there's three. There's three main hiking trails. You got the AT, the Pacific Trail, and then the center one.
And
the CT, I think it's called, but Continental Trail or something like that.
Maybe. I'm not too.
Yeah, you got the Pacific Coast Trail, PCT.
I like how the PCT is larger than the AT.
Oh yeah,
because it starts in Canada and ends in Mexico. Well, ends in Mexico or vice versa. Along those lines,
yeah. But the AT is the oldest of the trails. That one was made, I believe, in the '60s. Like I think one of the presidents designated it as a historic landmark almost. So it's like the Trail Conservancy was made by one of the presidents. I think I'm getting that right. I'll be honest, I didn't look into the history of the Appalachian Trail that much. I just looked into the spooky stuff.
Appalachian Trail roughly measures at 2,100 plus or minus miles and is a footpath that is located, of course, along the East Coast. It was conceived in 1921 by Benton McKay, with construction beginning shortly after, and then, of course, it being officially completed in 1937. It was established as a National Scenic Trail in 1968, and the trail was built by private citizens and volunteers and is currently managed by the National Park Service and the U.S. Forest Service and the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. Yeah, so you're close.
Yeah. It would have been like Kennedy, I think, right? 68? Or was that Nixon at that point?
That would have been Nixon.
Yeah.
Kennedy died in 63.
Oh, yeah. I'm way early.
Yeah.
Way early. But it's a fun trail, man. I live almost right next to it in some areas. It goes right by my house.
Yeah.
Of course, it's seen a lot of action, and imagine you can walk that trail and see a bunch of Civil War spots.
Yep.
So, I mean, it wasn't really used very much, in that regard back in the Civil War, but I'm sure some of the trail parts would have been used by some of the soldiers at some point or another.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't officially like a footpath or trail per se up until the 1920s, 1930s,
right.
when they actually allocated resources to make it that. But I'm sure there were probably like natural footpaths, through
and like civilians that that lived in the area, probably going up there and
fishing.
Hiking has probably been around since people could walk.
Fishing and hunting out there. I'm sure people have been hiking and fishing out there long before the trail was even conceived. So yeah, pretty neat.
But to go along with it, Appalachia is also one of the oldest parts of the country, and that goes along with spooky, dark history.
Of course, super remote.
Yep.
Like there's parts of Appalachia where it's literally like bumfuck middle of nowhere, and I don't want to say like it's not like modernized, but it's some of it's like pretty rural. So like you
there's like main parts where you can, for instance, where we go on Thurston Griggs Trail to hike up to the AT to get towards Annapolis Rock and Black Rock. Yeah, like that's like a modern trail to get up there. Yeah, but if you would have probably gone back to the 1920s or so, that Thurston Griggs Trail probably did not exist. No, and the AT probably would have been way more remote than it is. Yeah. Yep. Because that's a hike in itself to get up to the AT before you even get to it. So
yeah.
Can't imagine too many people would be just walking up there on their own.
No. And well, like you said, it's just like a hot spot for all kinds of spooky activity. And not just the trail itself, but like Appalachia in general.
Oh yeah.
And we're talking cryptids, UFO sightings, a lot of disappearances,
ghosts, true crime.
Yeah, like
it covers the whole gambit.
Yeah,
of paranormal activity.
It's kind of like the perfect storm too. Like if you're gonna commit a crime, or if you're gonna be a cryptid,
we're not encouraging you to commit crimes on the Appalachian Trail.
Like if you're gonna commit a crime, like I wouldn't say run to your local gun store. Get a pistol with a silencer, keep it in your trunk, go to Thurston Griggs Trail on a Tuesday.
There's a parking lot there. You could just
and leave the firearm in the
creek nearby.
In the creek nearby under a rock. Just saying. Yeah, no.
We do not condone any of these actions. Do not do that.
Yeah, of course not. Never. Yeah, like the Appalachian Trail would be like a place to experience that. Even if you've never like hiked on the Appalachian Trail, like we also have the C&O Canal, and
kind of runs nearby it.
But
there's parts where the C&O Canal and the AT are one.
Yeah,
like down near Harper's Ferry.
Yeah, they kind of like hooked together. But even then, like hiking the C&O, there are parts of it where it's pretty eerie and quiet because, like, if you're like hiking out towards Shepherdstown, you'll get to a point where it's like it's pretty quiet.
And because you're like in between towns, civilizations.
Yeah, and like it's like remote per se, but in all reality, civilizations were like 10 miles off the trail or whatever. But like you're still out.
Stick to the trail, you're not going to get lost.
Yeah, you know. Thing. Yeah, like the craziest experience. So it was like the storm was coming, so we had like our camp set up, we had like the tent set up and everything, and it was during a time of the year where the trees were like just blooming, so there was like this perfect green tunnel of just trees for miles, but we could hear the storm coming miles away in the tunnel.
Ooh.
It sounded like a windstorm, and then it just hit, and it was like, oh man. Damn. That was a pretty bizarre experience. It was pretty neat.
I've never had a bizarre experience on the trails.
Really?
Yeah, luckily for me.
I mean, like when I say bizarre, like that, like it wasn't like supernatural or anything. It was just like, really trippy,
right?
To experience that like out in nature, because like unless you're out there, you're not gonna ever experience something like that. You know what I mean? Or hearing like a big ass tree fall in the middle of a forest, like
it does in fact make a sound.
It does. Yeah, I can confirm it does make a sound, very loud sound. And just even like seeing that, like nature, just like a tree falling over, like that was freaking crazy. Because it was pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done it. I didn't do it at all last year, but one of my favorites is the Loudon Heights Trail down near Harper's Ferry, which coincides with the Appalachian Trail. And one time I went down there at like 5 a.m. to do like a sunrise hike just because I was young and spry back then, 2 years ago, and I had the energy to do that kind of thing. And I got out on the trail. It couldn't have been any later than 5:45 or so. Sun was just coming up so I could see because I didn't want to be out there while it was dark, when like unprepared. And there's like already a guy coming down from the trail, like from the top. Yeah. And I'm like, hey. How's it going?
Like, what's up?
Getting the miles in early, huh? And I was like, I guess. And I'm like panting. It's like trying not to die because that's a steep ass hill.
It is. It sucks.
Loudon Heights is a bitch.
It sucks. It's pretty rough.
Like Maryland Heights is steep, but it's quick. Loudon Heights is just like it just keeps going.
It's steep and it just keeps going. Yeah, I think you can get to the top of Maryland Heights.
There's a part that I call like the what was Skyrim, the third of the world? It was like the 1,000 steps or whatever. Yeah. You get to a point and you're just like looking up and it's almost a staircase going up to Loudon Heights, but it's only like halfway through. Yeah. So you like just stare at it and you're like, do I really want to do this right now?
I know exactly the part that you're talking about too, because it's like long and narrow. It's like, oh, okay, yeah.
But that view is worth it.
The view's crazy.
Once you get up to the top, I spent like a couple hours up there just hanging out. I brought a book up there once and read some Lord of the Rings up on the peak, watching the people.
Bring up some books, some good kush.
I brought my pipe that day. I don't think I smoked it, but because I was like, I probably shouldn't be smoking this around other people up here. You know,
I'll go
just ruin my lungs up here real quick before I head back down.
Do a hike, bring a good stooge.
Yeah,
a nice cigar, and just chill up there. I'll be perfect.
Yeah,
fine.
I will say, if you ever do what we're talking about, go to Harper's Ferry and go to Battleground Coffee, I think it is. It's a little coffee shop right in town. Grab a coffee, grab a sandwich or something, put that in your backpack. Not the coffee. Don't spill it. Put the sandwich in your backpack. Have that for lunch when you get to the top of the trail.
Put the coffee in your bag and drink your sandwich, okay? Time to take a good old swig of this BLT. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oddly, we were watching, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but this is somewhat related to what you just said. We were watching My Strange Addiction. Yeah. Have you ever watched that show?
Mm-hmm.
The lady was addicted to blending all of her food and drinking it through her nose.
I'm going to sign off now.
So don't do that. Don't don't drink your.
Through her nose.
She blended it into a smoothie.
Yeah.
Put the straw into her nose and snorted it.
What were like the health complications?
None. Well, the complications. She finally went to the doctor after everybody's like, "You need to stop doing this." She went on She was dating this guy for like 6 months, and she had never eaten any, or quote unquote eaten anything in front of him, and then she like went to a coffee shop and snorted her latte, and the guy was just like, Jessica, what the fuck? And yeah, so I guess him reacting that way to her made her finally decide to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, how long have you been doing this? Oh, a couple years or something. He's like, this is going to ruin your trachea. You could drown at any moment.
Yeah.
Like this, do not do this. What is wrong with you? And yeah, sometimes they're just like, well, I'm just going to keep doing it anyway. But this girl apparently stopped doing it. She started actually eating food. Like, I don't understand. I don't know how.
It's a bit, dude.
I don't know.
Human mind does some crazy shit.
It's like you try it once and it's just like, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was onto something.
I really don't think she was. But yeah, AT is a good time, but there is the dark side. So that's what we're going to talk about today after this quick message from Nick on his Cryptid Corner broadcast service.
Oh, yeah. So what do we got going on this week with our good old-fashioned cryptid broadcast service? So it was on, I think it was on Reddit. No, it might have just been like the news. But it popped up. I got a notification about Bigfoot sighting. And I was like, oh, sweet. Bigfoot cryptids. He's like, Daddy King.
He is the cryptid.
He's the cryptid. So apparently in July of 2005, at the Marine Corps base in Quantico, Virginia, 3 Marines were doing night training exercises, and they claimed to have seen 8-foot-tall, dark-haired creature, which then they later described to be Bigfoot. The creature reportedly walked confidently through the dense woods, causing the Marines to flee after hearing the heavy, fast-moving pursuit.
Confidently. He's strutting.
Oh, yeah. He's
He's out there jamming to I'm Too Sexy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's like,
just hear that song faintly in the distance.
Like 2000. 2000. It's like, do you guys hear? Is that I'm Too Sexy?
It can't be. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's 2005. Yeah.
Is it? No. Oh my God, it is.
Yeah, and you just see like Sasquatch just like up in the air, like just
with like his
Just
headphones
like-
on.
Yeah, just jamming. He's got like
Doing
Daisy Dukes on.
and a crop top flannel
Yeah,
shirt.
and it's like what
Tied up in the front and a little bow.
He's got his little like Timberland boots on. Like,
His little clear backpack on.
Yeah.
It's like that, like what second graders use.
Yeah.
Clear pink one.
yes, yep.
A couple flowers in his hair. Just feeling himself, having a good day.
Oh yeah, just vibing. Key details of the encounter. So, witness Andrew Bird, a former Marine, serving as OPFOR or opposing force for infantry officer course training. I'm guessing it's like the type of training.
You're speaking a language I don't understand.
Couldn't tell you. Was the one who saw it. And I guess there's like two other colleagues that he was with. The creature did not move fast, but seemed to own the place. It was seen for about 50 to 75
Own it,
minutes
girl.
away. Oh, yeah.
Own it.
He was like, bitches, you're in my territory right now. The pursuit, upon attempting to leave the area, the Marines heard heavy, rapid, and loud crashing noises like branches breaking, following them for 20 to 30 seconds. So this thing like freaking like pursued them, and they're like, oh, fuck that. Let's get out of here.
I just can't get over the fact the Marines ran away from an unidentified thing in the forest.
I mean, I'm not surprised because I think it's just like a normal human. I mean, they're still people.
But they're trained for these situations, I would think.
Trained to encounter Bigfoot? Like, I don't know.
I mean, you're trained to encounter all types of enemy.
Not conventional warfare. But
He fights dirty.
yeah, it's like crap. We haven't been trained for
Guerrilla
this.
warfare, one might say.
Yeah, exactly.
Only a literal gorilla.
But of course, I mean, it's like the credibility of.
The credibility is that they're Marines.
Yeah, and they made the report. Was submitted to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, or the BFRO, and it was investigated by Matthew Moneymaker, who found the witness credible. So they probably went through a process, and they probably went through.
We talked about the processes of what these people do before on the show.
I don't
they confirmed the time of day, like what the sky was doing, what the temperature was.
Yeah, and then they like compare it to like what they tell them. And
Yeah.
if they check off more boxes, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe there's some credibility to
This guy wasn't hallucinating.
Yeah.
He vividly remembers the exact date.
The report is one of several, including a 1988 incident in Washington State involving Marines and a 8'5", 800-pound creature, highlighting a pattern of encounters in remote forested military training areas. So yeah,
I like that Bigfoot's just hanging out with the military training ops.
Yeah, right. Like they're out there training, they got their night vision on, and then you just see like you're looking through like your night vision goggles.
You see Bigfoot windmill dicking.
Maybe in some scenario, or like he comes up behind you, and he's like right next to you. What are you guys looking at? Like, what the fuck?
He also has night vision goggles on.
Yeah,
oh, mama.
Look at that guy. Helicopter ticket. That's my neighbor. It's like the drunk guy off of Zack and Miri. The drunk Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger's all chugging football. I need some coffee. I'm trying to get home.
God, that movie's so underrated.
Yeah, it really is. It's a gem. Oh,
I'll take a coffee, black. Can't you see we talking? White?
Did you see me talking? White? So yeah. Bigfoot's running around with the Marines. I thought that was pretty cool.
Hey, maybe he is one. Maybe he is a Marine.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's running around there. He's part of the training exercise.
Yeah. Just drill sergeant out there.
Yeah. We'll see.
I like it. It's been a couple weeks since we recorded. We had that big snowstorm.
Yeah.
And a lot of ice and snow. It just was not a fun time, so we had to skip a week of recording, but it feels good to be back.
Yeah, it's just nasty and gross.
Sometimes this time of year, I feel like we're like getting back into the swing of things, and then something comes up.
Yeah.
It just kicks us off our regular schedule, but hey, shit happens. That's why the podcast is free, baby.
Being inconsistent, consistently, still consistent.
That sounds like a really backwards way of thinking, but I like it.
I mean, it's not a principle that I follow. I'm just saying. Yeah. How about you, buddy? Anything going on your end? Anything interesting? Any cryptid encounters?
No, the only thing was seeing you out in the public for like the first time in ages.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Yep.
I was like seeing a cryptid.
That's cool. I got a pretty scary bill this morning in my mail, so that was kind of
Me too.
cryptid encounter.
The electric bill came.
Yeah, the oil bill showed up.
My house is electric heat, and yeah, it's not been a fun time.
And how much are you? Okay, so in all honesty, like, how much are you paying for like your electric heat?
Oh, this month.
Lay it on me. Give me the deets.
I want to say this last one I just got, which would have been for, I guess, December mostly.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was like $500.
Yep. About okay. So
Yeah.
The oil bill is $560 for
and that's keeping our house at like a moderate 65 degrees.
I'm about to start like adjusting like the temperature. But okay, you know what? It stays at 67.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'll turn, like, during the day, I turn my heat almost down.
Yeah.
Because my house gets pretty warm just from sunlight.
Yeah.
So, but it gets cold at night, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing, I do have a little space heater in my bathroom that stays on, because there's one thing I hate more.
It's a cold.
It's a cold fucking toilet seat
Yep.
First thing in the morning.
Yep. Awful.
I hate it.
God awful.
It's like I just walk in, I just feel the warmth embrace, and it's like, yes, finally I can take this AM BM and a nice toaster.
Juice and just,
yeah. Yeah. It's the same for showering. Like, I don't want to get out of a hot shower into a cold bathroom.
You got valid points.
Yeah. So
valid points. These are the things. It's the little things.
It's the things that after you turn 30, you start paying attention to.
You start realizing, like, man, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yep.
Sure does. All right, well, let's get into talking about the spooky things that happen on the AT.
Yep.
So like Nick had alluded to, there's no shortage of things that happen that cannot be explained on the Appalachian Trail. We're going to try to touch on as many as we can today, but this could easily be a 2 or 3 part episode where we really dive into specific instances. I think what we're going to try to do is just give you some scenarios and some things that have been reported, and we'll go into as much detail as we can in the time allotted. So I guess we'll start with maybe the first things. Let's start with the rules of the Appalachian Trail when it comes to paranormal things happening. And one of the most common rules of Appalachia in general is whistling. If you hear whistling at night, do not whistle back. If you hear your name called in the woods, no, you didn't. And if you see something that doesn't look quite right, like a deer standing up on its hind legs, look away and keep walking. So those are like the unspoken rules of the Appalachian folklore. And I know you had, piggybacking off of the deer that don't look right, I know you have one that you specifically like called the not deer.
Yeah, so definitely one of my favorite, I think, Appalachian cryptid encounters is the not deer, or that ain't a deer. That's the not deer.
It's a not deer.
What is the not deer, folks? The not deer is an Appalachian cryptid described as something that looks like a deer until it doesn't. It looked like a deer, but it wasn't acting like one.
I like how you're instantly going into a southern.
Oh yeah, it's like this legend gained traction through rural oral stories and tellings.
That's a weird sentence.
Well, yeah,
rural oral.
Rural
oral. You got to be an English major to get through those.
Rural folklore
stories.
Just people talked about it, like in hunter accounts. And of course, places like Reddit, modern folklore spaces, especially Appalachia. How people describe the not deer. Physical traits. It's got too many joints in the legs.
Hey, have you seen my wife? She's got too many joints in her legs.
That ain't your wife. That's your not wife. Legs that bend the wrong way. Neck is too long or too stiff. Eyes forward facing. Predatory, not prey. That's like the biggest one, I think. It's like the eyes are on the front.
Yeah, that's
it's kind of creepy.
That is creepy, but the neck is too stiff or too loose?
Too stiff or too long.
Like who's clocking that? Who's clocking that on a deer? Who's like, I don't like the way that deer looks. That neck's too stiff on that
like
thing.
A fucking giraffe.
That I would understand. That I get.
It's like, that ain't no deer, man. Mouth sometimes described as wrong or too wide. He's just grinning.
It's just a roast.
He's just grinning with like these pearly whites, just looking at you
with his long, stiff neck.
Also, is behavior that gives it away. Watches people without fear. So, for those of you who are familiar with deer behavior, they're pretty skittish. They run away
until it's a car with headlights coming hurtling at it at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, unless it's a car.
With horns blowing.
All the signs are there, but this deer is like...
Deer's like, I'm not afraid of this.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck you, Derek. Watches people without fear and doesn't run from headlights. Yeah. So this is like the deer that sits out in the road and just stands as the car is hurtling towards you, like puffing out his chest. Might even pull a Glock out. Moves with an uncanny, jerky gait. Sometimes stands upright briefly. That's the creepiest thing, that it stands on its two hind legs.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It crosses roads slowly and deliberately, looking both ways. The last one messes people up the most. Where is it seen? West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, Western Virginia.
There's a difference between Western Virginia and West Virginia.
Yeah, I know. My brain didn't register. So Tennessee, Pennsylvania, often reported near rural roads at night, on trail edges, in a fog or low light conditions. Basically places where the woods press close to humans. The feeling factor, though. Witnesses almost always say there's immediate dread. It's kind of like a get out now instinct. And this is what separates the not deer from misidentified animals. Theories as to what the not deer is. Some of them believe it's actually a skinwalker.
Okay.
Makes sense. So some sort of shape-shifting entity mimics animals poorly, and because of that, it just like kind of takes on this appearance of like, oh, I'm trying to be a deer, and it's like, but I don't know what a deer is. Did I get the eyes right?
Nope.
Nope.
What about the neck? Nope.
Too
stiff.
Long, too stiff.
What about the smile?
Nope.
Deers don't smile.
Deers don't smile, and they don't have pearly white teeth. Some think it's a Wendigo. Not a full Wendigo, but similar to it. Some reports even call it an interdimensional liminal creature.
My God.
Something crossing over imperfectly, explains the anatomical errors, fits well with the trail. Rational explanations, it's probably just a deer with like wasting disease.
I never once considered that it would be an interdimensional being.
Didn't you watch The Witcher? Did you see The Witcher with Hemsworth? Not Hemsworth.
The first season, and then most of the second season.
So you saw where they like collided the worlds, right? And like all the creatures started coming through.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So
I guess so. Yeah.
So clearly,
still,
there's a group of witchers running around Appalachia, and they opened this like void to another dimension, and that's where the not deer are coming from.
Well, they need to do something about that.
Yeah.
Get it together, witchers.
Yeah. Big old shared rule, because Taylor was just talking about shared or rules in Appalachia to keep you alive. Don't stop, don't approach, and don't acknowledge. People who ignore this rule often report feeling followed, nightmares, and lingering paranoia. So yeah, if you see the not deer, don't engage, but also don't stop. Don't chase after it. If you're going to run away from it, don't run, walk.
It's like, there's a very specific set of rules to follow in the heat of a moment of seeing this weird-looking deer staring back at you with its eyes on the front of its face.
Oh my God, that would be the most
standing straight up with an old-timey boxing stance.
Right? Like, is that deer about to do fisticuffs with me?
Hold on. I'm going to kick this deer's ass.
Yeah, like, hold up. Roll my sleeves up here.
So to get back to the rules just a little bit. So the whistling, there's a firm Appalachian superstition that you never whistle back at night. The belief is that the forest entities like the hide behind use mimicry to lure people off of the path. If you whistle back, you are essentially inviting them to find you.
What if you have an actual whistle? Does that
count? Like a
A
blow whistle?
blow whistle?
I don't think that
does that count?
Counts.
Like if he whistles at you and you respond back with a blow whistle, and you just hear like
just extra loud.
You just hear a God damn it. Walk, shuffle away.
Not fooling him this time. Does that mean we can go get him, or what does this mean?
Oh, let's see the manual. No, we can't. It has to be a real whistle. It can't be like a.
He's got to actually whistle with his lips.
Can't.
So people that can't whistle, you're safe.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yep.
And the name rule. If you hear your name called clearly from the deep brush where no one should be, you are instructed to ignore it. Legend says if you acknowledge the voice, you give it permission to follow you home. Wouldn't that be some shit, though, if it's like a thru hiker and they hear the voice and they're like, hey, Nick. Hey, how you doing? And they don't hear anything. The spirit follows them home, but it's a spirit from Georgia, and they're going all the way to Maine. And they just get off the trail. They're like, ah, shit, where the fuck am I?
Wait, so how does that work? So you hear like it call your name or something, but if you ignore it,
if you acknowledge the voice, you give it permission, quote unquote, to follow you home. So if you ignore it, you're not giving it permission. So if it's like, hey, Nick, and you're like, yeah, that's acknowledging it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So then you've given this thing permission to follow you home. I'm saying, what if your 6-month voyage has just started, and now this thing is with you for 6 months on the Appalachian Trail?
Because you did it right at the beginning.
Yeah. But then the spirit gets pissed because it's like, where the fuck are we going? And you get off the trail at Maine, and you live in like fucking Hawaii or some shit. This thing's like, what is this?
I've been displaced. I need to get back to.
I miss Appalachia.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Bye.
All right. So now we kind of covered the rules and we covered the not deer. I feel like those kind of went two and like one and the same, just because that the not deer is one of those specific instances that if you look at it, you're inviting it and like that kind of thing. So what do you want to start with first? Ghosts, cryptids, disappearances? What do you want to do? What are you thinking? What are you thinking, buddy?
I'll open it up with kind of like a urban myth kind of ghost story.
Okay.
Known as the Green Man or No Face Charlie. The Green Man is one of the most haunting, tragic, and unique Appalachian legends that Appalachia has to offer. It hits a little different because it lives in that uncomfortable space between a ghost story and real human suffering. And I remember reading about this like years ago, and like it wasn't until I was doing the research it kind of hit me. I was like, oh, I completely fucking forgot about this. This is really kind of creepy. So the core legend behind it, it goes by the Green Man or Charlie No Face, and it's most commonly associated with western Pennsylvania near the Appalachian Trail and adjacent regions. The Green Man is said to wander rural roads at night, and whatever is described as missing eyes, nose, and sometimes a mouth. The skin is kind of a greenish hue to it. For the most part, he's silent until he's not. Drivers claim headlights would illuminate a face that shouldn't exist, like standing off the road. So, like, you're driving a car at night and you just see this, like, figure standing, and for a second you're looking at the face, and, it's like in our biology where we can kind of notice facial features, right?
Yeah.
But there's kind of like that uncanny valley feeling where, like, you see his face and it's like, wait, there's something off about that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. He might be missing a mouth. He might be missing his eye. But the real inspiration behind the myth, it was believed to be a man originally known as Raymond Robinson who lived between 1910 and 1985. As a child, he was electrocuted by a trolley. Like, he survived, but suffered, catastrophic, fatal.
Like scarring and burns and stuff.
Yeah, like it just fucked up his face. And because of that, he lived a reclusive life due to like public fear, being bullied, and cruelty. To avoid frightening people, he took night walks. He stayed to back roads, and he became a figure that people whispered about instead of trying to understand and befriend. Locals didn't see a man. Like I said, like when they saw him, they saw a silhouette. They saw a shape that moved oddly, and a face that briefly caught the headlights. And of course, the stories, they kind of got more extensive. They grew over the years. They got more ridiculous. Apparently, he could drain car batteries.
Well, of course he can.
Yeah, he appeared and vanished instantly. And there was the belief that he wasn't even human at all. And of course, like all urban legends, kids being kids, as the popularity of it began to rise, people would seek him out. They would dare each other to find him, even harass him, feeding the legend further.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, right. It seems probably just mind his own business.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to
it's not bad enough he was horribly burned and had to take night walks to avoid public shaming. Now, and he got kids bullying him in the afterlife.
Fucking egging him. Even though he's mostly associated with Pennsylvania roads, hikers and locals still report that sightings near other trails are common. The feeling of being watched where the woods meet pavement, and stories blending into just the overall Appalachian ghost lore.
I will say, to piggyback off of that, when you hike the AT, like Loudon Heights, for instance, when you're hiking through the forest and then you do get to a road, I will say that is sometimes a really weird feeling. I don't know if it's because you're out in nature for so long, seeing a road just like doesn't make sense at the time, even if you know it's coming.
Yeah.
But like, I get that. I get where they're coming from, where it's like these entities kind of hover around where the pavement meets the trail.
Yeah.
It does seem like kind of a liminal space or something. Like a space between or something like that.
I mean,
like in a weird way. Like, I don't know if I'm describing it right, but
I can totally understand like where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I was on I forget what subreddit it was. It was like the main feed, but it was basically like creepy Reddit or some shit like that. And it was literally like out in the middle, bumfuck, like somewhere out the mountains, rural area, or whatever. No lights. No, it's just like a single highway road. And there's a random ass shop, like a Prada shop, like a store for like Prada bags.
Okay.
And they're all like, it's like this the only thing that's like lit up on this road. And to the point where I was like, is this like a legit thing? I can't, like, is this credible? But so there's a Prada store in the middle of like fucking nowhere. It's lit up, all the lights are on. There's nobody inside, but there's like purses on display for sale. It was the creepiest fucking thing. You know, it's like one of those things like you're driving out there.
Yeah.
You're trying to find a gas station. What is that?
Oh, good. Finally, a gas station. Oh, what is this?
It's like Prada purses, and it's like there's nobody. The lights are on, so somebody's like watching it, and people are like saying like, "Don't go in there," because like somebody's watching to like kidnap you or whatever.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's like that kind of like it's kind of like it doesn't make sense that this is here, but I can understand like why this is here. Maybe. Yeah.
It's like I know it's here. I know it's coming. There's a road going to be here, but like when you get to it, you just kind of like sometimes I just like look around. I'm like, where am I? Kind of thing. Yeah. Like, so I definitely get that like feeling of being watched kind of thing from a person along a road when you're hiking the trail.
So overall, you know, the Green Man's kind of become this like symbolic thing within Appalachia, much like all the other ghost, you know, stories that exist. You know, he kind of has come to symbolize fear of the unknown, the theme of isolation in rural America, how trauma becomes a myth, and how legends erase humanity. In all honesty, he's probably just like a misunderstood ghost, a living man who turned into like an urban legend. Or a reminder that not all monsters are supernatural. They kind of come from actual people, you know.
Right.
You know that. So that was pretty cool. I remember seeing that, and if you Google it, you can see photos of like I'm doing air quotes.
Like what he allegedly looks like,
what he looks like, and supposedly
or doesn't look like, I guess.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a face. Yeah.
Well, piggyback off of your green ghost with
the Green Man.
The Green Man ghost.
Green.
It'd be like the Blue Man Group on the Green Man Ghost. This is called the Greenbrier Ghost. Have you heard of the Greenbrier Ghost?
I did see that, like when I was looking up, but I didn't like dig into it too much. So what's that?
So this took place just off of the trail in Greenbrier County, and it's actually the most famous legal ghost story in the region.
What is a legal ghost story?
So in 1897, Zona Hester Shue died under mysterious circumstances. Her ghost allegedly appeared to her mother over 4 nights, revealing that her husband had murdered her. Based on the ghost's testimony, the body was exhumed, the murder was proven, and the husband was convicted. It remains the only case in U.S. history where a ghost's word helped convict a killer.
Okay, that's interesting.
Zona Shue was a young woman living in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. She had recently married a blacksmith named Aramis Trout Shue. I'm just going to call him Trout because Erasmus is a tough name.
It sounds like a dwarf name.
Right? It's a cool name, but
like Aramis.
For the sake of not butchering it too bad. The discovery. In January 1897, a neighbor boy found Zona dead at the foot of the stairs in her home. When the doctor arrived, Trout Shue was already there, cradling his wife's head and sobbing uncontrollably. He had already dressed her in a high-necked, stiff-collared dress and a veil. He became aggressive whenever the doctor tried to examine her neck. So the doctor, wanting to be respectful of the quote-unquote grieving husband, gave a cursory glance and ruled the death everlasting faint. Later, changed to childbirth. Don't ask me what everlasting faint is. I guess it's when you faint and you don't wake up. I don't.
He passed out 4 weeks ago.
It was the 1890s. They didn't know anything then.
Passed out 4 weeks ago. He's not breathing, but he'll be back. He only fainted.
Any wrestling nerds out there? I feel like the everlasting feint would be a sick finishing move. Zona's mother, Mary Jane Hester, never liked Trout Shoe, and she didn't believe the fainting story. About a month after the funeral, Mary Jane claimed that the ghost of Zona appeared at her bedside 4 nights in a row. The spirit told Mary Jane that Trout had been abusive and in a fit of rage over dinner had broken her neck. According to Mary Jane, the ghost demonstrated the injury by turning its head 180 degrees until it was facing backwards. Jesus.
Right? Nope, I don't like any of that.
You're just sitting there minding your own business, and your daughter visits you in your sleep, and she just starts spinning her head around.
It's like, oh, we're not. No. We're gonna.
Let's just put that back on
place.
There we go.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
Mary Jane was so persistent that she convinced the local prosecutor, John Alfred Preston, to exhume the body. The doctors found that Zona's neck had indeed been broken between the first and second vertebrae, and her windpipe had been crushed. Preston, the prosecutor, was a smart man. He didn't want to use a ghost story in court because it was legally inadmissible, so he stuck to the physical evidence. It was actually the defense attorney who brought up the ghost. He cross-examined Mary Jane about her visions, hoping to make her look like a crazy, grieving old woman. However, the jury didn't find her to be that way. Mary Jane didn't flinch. She described the ghost's visits with such calm, chilling detail that the jury was mesmerized. They believed her. Trout Shoe was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison, where he died 3 years later. If you drive through West Virginia today, near the Sam Black Church exit on I-64, you will see an official state historical marker. It doesn't use any words like allegedly or rumored. It states plainly, interred in nearby cemetery is Zona Hester Shoe. Her death in 1897 was presumed natural until her spirit appeared to her mother to describe how she was killed by her husband Edward. Autopsy on the exhumed body verified the apparition's account. So there you go. That's how a ghost story legally held up in court to get her killer. All this happening just off of the Appalachian Trail.
I like it. They should make that into a series.
I could see that.
A true crime series. So we've talked about, ghosts so far. We've talked about the Green Man, the story that you discussed, ghosts having influence on our legal system. But also, too, I think it's important to talk about, from a hiking perspective, the very real threats. And it's kind of like teeter-totters on like the line of like true crime, actual real threats that serial killers, bad actors that could like actually be out on the trail. So one of the things that, for those of you who are familiar with like the AT, is you're going to see like the trail shelters that are kind of spread throughout the trail. Appalachian Trail shelters are, they're regarded as safe havens. A lot of times you'll see that they're like 3-sided wooden structures all throughout the AT. And of course, they're designed for hikers to get out of weather, sleep on elevated ground, and share space with strangers.
Imagine like a very rudimentary log cabin.
Basically, yeah. It's like kind of like an open log cabin. They're often placed in like really deep remote sections. I don't think I've actually ever seen one.
I know there's a really nice one going down towards Greenbrier, West Virginia. Isn't that Greenbrier like the park right there?
Yeah.
And the AT go right near there. There's like a nice.
Maybe
it's like just outside of Gathland, just past like Fox's Gap and stuff like that. There's a really nice shelter down there.
Yeah.
It's elevated, like you were saying. It's like probably a foot or two off the ground. It's just like wood planks.
Yeah.
But it's also got a loft in the upstairs with like a window, and it's like has a nice view out of it.
Really?
I haven't seen it, but I watch a YouTube channel and they stayed there for a couple hours getting out of a rainstorm. So
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so like they're often placed in like deep remote sections. They're near water sources, and they're often used as a way to get out of like adverse weather.
I think in Tennessee you actually have to stay at the shelters during at night because they don't allow open fires or campers to be off the trail in Tennessee because like black bears and stuff like that being so bad. So you got to stay near the shelter. Well, you think it's cool until you get stuck with like 30 other campers.
Yeah. Yep.
And they probably all stink really bad and snoring and all kinds of shit.
Farting.
Anybody want beans? I brought beans.
No, don't want beans. So, on paper, these shelters, they make sense. But in practice, they're kind of like horrific hotspots, like it's a perfect place for good old fashioned trail horror.
Good old fashioned trail horror.
Why do they feel so unsettling? I think it's the fact that it's like an open front, so there's like no door, right? It's just like an open, open shelter. There's no real barrier. You're isolated out there in pitch black woods. It's like all right there in front of you. Sounds carry farther at night, so you're more prone to hear things that are scary. And you're also forced to trust the structure, the location, but most importantly, the people and the things that could be around you. You just gave the example of like in Tennessee, where if you have to stay at the shelter and it could be like overloaded with people, you don't know who's going to be there. You got to trust that complete strangers. But common reports, though, from shelters often range from shadow figures, tall human-shaped silhouettes, seen standing just outside the shelter line, never fully enter. They kind of just linger around. That's creepy.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Footsteps and circling, so people have reported hearing slow steps moving around the shelter perimeter, or pattern pacing, not random animal movement. And then it continues for hours and it stops at sunrise. And then, of course, whispers and voices, voices calling names, conversations that stop when acknowledged, like you were talking about, or sounds that come from the tree line but not from nearby hikers.
Spooky.
And, of course, not all horror is paranormal. Some of it is just about, some stories revolve around aggressive strangers, stalkers, unexplained behavior. You don't know who you're going to run into when you're out there. Some hikers actually refuse to use the shelters at all because, it's predictable and everybody knows where the shelters are.
Yeah.
So,
that would be my biggest thing. If I was ever going to through hike the AT, I would really, of course you want to get like the whole thing done, but like in Tennessee where you have to use the shelters, I would just hate that. I really do not agree with forcing people to use shelters. I know that it's a wildlife concern, but I don't know. It's just a personal opinion of mine.
I get it. Yeah, it's kind of like, ooh, like you're...
Like that turns me off of wanting to do it. Like, not that I ever will probably hike the whole thing, but...
You could just hike up to that point and then just skip that.
Yeah, I did 90% of it.
Yeah, what was the 10% Tennessee? I'm not fucking sleeping at the shelter.
Yeah.
I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
He can shit in my food.
Shit in my bed.
You can shit on me.
Just imagine. That's really gross, but just imagine like you take your hiking boots off and stuff for the day. Most people have like Crocs or whatever to slip into. You go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, put your foot in, it's just a warm, gooey shit in your hiking boot. Like, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? I didn't bring a second pair of hiking boots. Now I got to deal with there being a mushy trail hike shit in my hiking boot. That's the true horrors, like you're saying. That's the true horrors of the trail.
You just slowly accept it and just keep going.
Oh, I couldn't. There's no way. There's no way. It'd be like one of those squish balls. Where you put your foot in and it's like oozing out of the top of your shoes.
It's like you're wearing your Crocs just like coming out of the holes. like a fucking cheese grater.
Like the Play-Doh thing.
The extruder.
Yeah. That is the true horror.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah, that ghost over there that's been sitting there, that Wendigo that's been calling my name for like 3 days, I can handle that. But this shit. So then, you can piggyback off of that. So, like, did you have a specific like trail shelter story?
I do, yeah. This is the haunting of the Punch Bowl shelter in Virginia. It's located near mile marker 75 and is considered one of the most poignant and consistently reported ghost stories on the entire Appalachian Trail. Unlike the aggressive monsters or cryptids of other sections, this story is more concerning or more about a lost soul. So the haunting dates back to 1891, decades before the Appalachian Trail was even a concept. 7-year-old Audie Klein-Powell was a student in a small schoolhouse at the base of Bluff Mountain. One afternoon, the teacher asked the students to go outside and gather firewood. Audie wandered too far into the dense brush and vanished. For weeks, the local community searched the rugged terrain of the Blue Ridge Mountains. They found nothing. It wasn't until 5 months later, in the spring of 1892, that a group of hunters found Audie's body. He had climbed over 2,000 feet in elevation, reaching the very summit of Bluff Mountain, where he eventually died of exposure. Today, at the summit of Bluff Mountain, just a short hike from the shelter, there's a small stone monument marking the exact spot where his body was found. The Punch Bowl shelter sits in the shadow of Bluff Mountain, and hikers who stay there frequently report a strange occurrence that points toward childlike presence. Many through hikers have reported waking up in the middle of the night to the sound of a young boy sobbing or whimpering just outside of the shelter. When they shine their headlamps into the woods, the sound stops immediately. A common report involves hikers feeling a small weight sit down on the edge of their sleeping bag or at the foot of the bunk as if a child is sitting there, only to find no one there when they look. Small items like spoons, tent stakes, or carabiners often go missing, only to be found later in a completely different spot, often neatly placed on a rock or a log. Because the story of Adi is so well known in the hiking community, a tradition has developed at the Adi Klein Powell Memorial on the summit. Hikers often leave trinkets, small toys, or coins on the monument as a way to comfort the boy's spirit. It is considered extremely bad luck and frankly just mean to take anything left at the memorial. Some hikers believe that if you leave something for Adi, he will watch over you as you descend the mountain, ensuring you don't lose the trail as he did. Local legend says that Adi is most active when the mountain mist rolls in. When the fog gets so thick that you can't see more than 10 feet ahead, hikers have reported seeing a small, blurry figure standing on the trail. They follow the figure thinking it's another hiker, only for it to lead directly to the memorial or back towards the shelter just before vanishing.
I'd be so mad. Oh, sweet, we can get out of here. Oh, wait, we're back here?
Right? The story of Adi is a reminder of how unforgiving the Appalachian wilderness can be, and if you ever find yourself at Punch Bowl, it's customary to say, "Good night, Adi," before you go to sleep. That's creepy.
It is, yeah. But that's like good old-fashioned Appalachian. Yeah, that's terrible. That's like that good old-fashioned Appalachian, like
spooky ghost goodness. Yeah. I'd really, if I was going to hike the AT, I'd almost feel like I'd need to bring an EMF recorder or like a digital voice recorder. Try to get
EMF recorder, and I definitely wouldn't do it alone.
Go
with like a group of people.
Definitely not.
Yeah, go with a group of people.
Yeah, don't hike the Appalachian Trail by yourself by any means. I mean, some people do. And of course, you meet up with other hikers on the trail while you're like if you're through hiking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can, like if you're doing a small section of the trail by yourself, that's not a big deal. Like a couple miles, but like don't do a couple day hikes by yourself. That's not a good idea. But you may have some more paranormal activities happen to you that way if you're into that kind of thing. If you're gonna do it, make sure you go prepared. Bring bear mace. Whether your feelings on it or not, bring a gun.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you can have
have a concealed carry.
But like a concealed carry.
But I think this is going to be a 2-part episode, Nick. We covered a bunch of ghost stories and spooky things that happen on the trail. We barely scratched the surface on this topic.
Yeah, there's more cryptids to explore, UFO sightings and things like
vanishings, people just disappearing into thin air.
I got to look into it when we do our research for the next part of the episode, but like the wild, like feral people.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I want to cover that.
Yeah, definitely.
And like the trap doors. I've heard like they set up trap doors on the trail. People go missing that way, so like
that's creepy.
It's creepy as fuck, you know.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in to that episode. We're going to do that one next week, so we'll just do a back-to-back 2-part series here on the Appalachian Trail, and maybe even 3 parts if we need it.
If we have to.
Like I said, this is a beefy topic. I didn't think we were going to get into as much detail as we did on these the topics, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
So
fun stuff.
Yeah. So like we said, if you're going to go hike the Appalachian Trail, make sure you're prepared. Bring a GPS locator. Let people know that you're going out onto the Appalachian Trail and where you're going to be, just in case you do get lost. Protection, sunscreen, all that good stuff. Bug spray, proper socks, proper shoes. But other than that, we're going to keep trucking through these episodes to hopefully get us into spring where we can get out on the Appalachian Trail ourselves. So if you're listening to this podcast before you do an Appalachian Trail through hike, God bless you. That is a feat that not too many people can claim they've achieved. And hope you're enjoying listening to this show about the Appalachian Trail a little bit. And if you've hiked the Appalachian Trail and you've seen some paranormal stuff, or if you've through hiked the Appalachian Trail, tell us about your experiences. Even if it's not paranormal related, if it was like a crazy situation that you found yourself in, or, if you've seen Adi's memorial, if you had any instances of seeing coins or toys or anything left at the memorial, let us know what your experiences are. Leave us a good review on whatever platform you're listening to this episode on, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Go join our social media channels, Shadows and Sightings, the Paranormal Podcast on Facebook, Shadows and Sightings Pod on Instagram. Send us an email on shadowsandsightings@gmail.com. Always looking for feedback and looking to hear from you guys on your spooky stories and whatever else you want to talk about. We're trying to build a community here to discuss paranormal topics. And thanks for listening to this episode of Shadows and Sightings, and we'll see you next time when we talk about all things spooky.